Okay, competition between businesses, competition between events, competition between people. You know what's interesting is that there is I'm not going to mention the city or the state or even the country, but there is a particular promoter who right now is being sued by another promoter because they are starting their own event somewhere else. And so they used to have an event that went on year after year, and then all of a sudden this promoter got, I guess, kicked out of the organization, and he decided to start his own event because he already had a lot of followers, and now the original promoter wants to sue him and prevent him from having events. Now, this happens all over the world. I've seen it, I've witnessed it. It happened in Great Britain, it happened in Bermuda, believe it or not. It happened, I mean, but not to the point of suing somebody else. So this must be pretty hot and heavy. And come to find out, well, anyway, I won't go into too many details, but let me tell you something about competition. Competition between events is a great thing. Why? Even between businesses, because you really up your ante when you know somebody else is doing the same thing. You will deliver a better quality product, hire better quality teachers, better quality performers. You will do whatever you can to make your event just world class. And also, you will be nicer to people. I have found, since I am like a Captain Kirk director Taurus, right? I can sometimes snap at people. And I catch myself doing it, and I apologize up one side, down the other. I have to learn to be nicer. But you know what? This creates very nice people, too, because I'm telling you, the people that go to these events will follow the people that they like, all right? And they'll only go to an event if they don't like the promoter, it's only because they like the instructors that the promoter hired in. Now, I myself have been in a competing event with somebody else in California. And every year we would do a New Year's event, and every year we would do a summer event. And lo and behold, this other person did it at the exact same time we did. We did it at the exact same time they did. And you know what worked out is when you offer just something slightly different. This other person was a West Coast swing guy, and he had a huge West Coast swing following, and he was trying to get into the salsa community. And we were helping him out at first, but then when we realized that we weren't getting 50% of anything, we decided to get out because we were bringing all the salsa people, and he felt like he was doing all the work, but you could do all this work and have no people. So we were doing our 50%, bringing all these people, and he was doing his 50% by basically putting up the event. So we decided to branch off from him and create our own event. He didn't go to the level of suing us, but he still kept doing his salsa gig, which was very poorly attended by the salsa people, but he still had an incredible West Coast swing following, and we didn't know why he wanted both. We were just doing West Coast swing, just doing salsa. He was doing West Coast swing and salsa. And he refused to give up the salsa thing, even though he was losing money every year. And you get to the point of where promoters are very stubborn, to where they think, you know what, I'm going to outlast them. I don't care if I lose money every single year. Something's going to give over time. Well, we just kept doing our event, and it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And people would rather come to a pure salsa event than a West Coast swing and salsa event. We didn't really like being over there either, because we always felt second fiddle. You know, our last time that we were together, we had clearly twice the number of salsa people than the West Coast swing people. And he still put us in a small room. And we wanted to switch rooms because there was no room to dance. But he wouldn't, because he still prided himself on his West Coast swing group. So we branched off. He didn't sue us, but we continued to have both events parallel, virtually on the same weekend. I think one was one weekend and then the other. This was very good because it helped us to really step up our level of courtesy, our quality of the venue that we chose, the quality of instructors. And we always made sure to put out the best product. And I think competition is great, because it's whoever works the hardest wins, whoever's the nicest wins, you have to go overboard, because who's going to be in the end benefiting? Your clients, right? And your clients want to go to an event where there's no bad blood, where there's no hate, where there's just only fun and happiness. And that's what you're really selling, is that you're selling the joy and the love of salsa. You know, you could know everything. You could be the best promoter or best dancer or whatever in the world, but if you're a real asshole, nobody's going to want to come to your event, you know? And I think what's happening in this city is that the guy that is suing the other guy knows that the other guy has a huge following and he doesn't, and he's afraid that he's going to lose people. And it's really sad, because if they both held events, then, you know, either it's a week apart or a couple months apart. I think that the people will go to both, you know. They're going to have to lower their price, obviously, you know, and maybe bring in less people. Or the other promoter can combine dances, or have tango and swing or whatever at theirs, and this other promoter could have country two-step and cha-cha or whatever in addition to salsa or zouk. There's so many other things now. There's bachata, there's zouk, there's reggaeton, there is kizomba. You could do so much, you know. And I just really think it's sad that it had to come to that, because a lot of these promoters just don't have a lot of money, and they use whatever savings they can just to throw an incredible event. And one thing that you have to understand is you cannot stop a promoter from being a promoter, just like you can't stop a singer from singing, and you can't stop a dancer from dancing. And in this world of dance, I think everybody that is part of it forms a body of people. In the body, the way the body works is you have your ears that do their job, you have a nose that does its job, you have the mouth that does its job. And I think in the salsa community especially, a lot of people want to contribute because of the joy it gives them. So they figure out, okay, what am I really good at? What can I do? Some people become DJs. Some people become teachers like myself. Some people become promoters. Others want to set up a venue, you know. Some people just want to put on huge events. Other people want to play the music. And so you have this body, like our human body, all working together. And when one part doesn't work that well, it seems like the whole body suffers. It seems like the entire city suffers when there's a problem, when there's conflict, when there's hate, when there's vengeance, especially when there's money involved. It just really creates this bad taste in people's mouth, and the city just feels they're split in two and they don't know who to go to. Let them go to both, you know. If somebody says, Edie, what do you like better, vanilla or ice cream? I say both. You know, how many scoops do you want? 2. Why? So I can have both. I think it's great if you do 2 events. So when it comes down to lawsuits and everything, the only person that wins are the attorneys, the lawyers. They're the only ones that win. When you could have taken that money and you could have put it into a great venue, or you could have taken that money and put it into hiring and flying in quality instructors. It's really sad that the lawyers get to win in a dance world. It's really, really sad. I recommend that they sit down together and they calculate, okay, I'm going to have my event on this date. And you're going to have your event on that date, you know. Even if they can't sit down together, have a representative get together and negotiate, you know, with a moderator there or something of when they'll have their event, so that they're not competing on the same weekend. That would just upset everybody, and people won't even go to either event if that happens. So I know salseros, you know, they have a huge heart, and they will go where they know there is love and happiness. So anyway, I just thought that I'd do this little video for you, and so that you could think twice about how much you're spending on attorneys versus how much you're spending on a quality event with quality instructors. You're really, really hurting the dance scene when you stick a lawsuit in somebody else's face just because you're scared that your event is going to fail, you know. Whoa. Anyway, this is Edie the Salsa Freak, signing out.